Sorry, j'ai pas marqué avant.
Désolé, sorry, I didn't notice that. Good evening, everyone.
Bienvenue à notre
Welcome
réunion ordinaire du 15
to our
septembre.
regular meeting, September 15th.
Bonne soirée.
Have a great evening. I wish you a great evening.
Comme toujours,
First of all, as always,
peut-être un petit
I do a little speech. We are gathered here on traditional and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people, whose ancestors signed a treaty of peace and friendship with the British Crown in the 1700s. Mr. Clerk, I see we have quorum tonight, although we do have two of our members remotely tonight. We bid them welcome remotely. So declaration of any conflict of interest. Are there any councillors who'd like to declare a conflict of interest to any of the items on the agenda? I see nothing, so thank you. So before adopting the agenda, it's Monday, it's Municipalities Week. It's something that the province started in 2023 with the Municipal Reform Act. It's just to highlight the importance of municipalities and what we do for democracy. We make decisions together. We provide critical services, essential services for fire prevention. As we saw last month, we don't want to see that again. The water services, snow clearing of streets, street maintenance. We offering services that people need, whether they are citizens or the businesses. So you have the agenda before you. Madam Deputy Mayor Sylvie Colette-Boudreau moves to adopt the agenda, seconded by Councillor Joël Després. Any questions on the agenda? Otherwise, all those in favor shall say aye. All those against, no. Motion carried. We have 2 minutes to pass for August 18th. First of all, I presume that you've had a chance to read it. We need a motion for adoption, moved by Councillor Emile O'Brien, seconded by Jean-Claude Bertin. Any questions on those minutes? I'm going to do some pauses just to allow Councillor Pastor-Chevalier in case they want to say something. All those in favor shall say aye. Contrary minded, nay. That is motion carried. And our second set of minutes for our last meeting on September 2nd. I presume you've had a chance to read it. I just need a motion to adopt, moved by Councillor Joël Després, seconded by Councillor Emile O'Brien. Any questions on the minutes? Otherwise, all those in favor shall say aye. Contrary minded, nay. Motion carried. Thank you. So the next item, public presentations. We have one tonight. I see that Gérald and Anne are in the crowd. They're here to present the budget of Shediac Downtown. Please come forward. Good evening.
Monsieur le maire.
Hello, Your Worship. Councillors, my name is Gérald Melançon, Vice Chair of the Board for Shediac Downtown. I'm also Director of the Banque Nationale in town. I'm accompanied by Director of the Corporation Anne Maigret. Thank you for having us tonight. So we'll be presenting the 2026 budget for the Downtown Shediac Corporation. We want to thank the town for its collaboration in terms of maintaining the flower arrangement, the flowers. We've all received the letters and the budgets for 2026. The downtown corporations in New Brunswick are governed by the provincial law that says that municipality must approve the annual budget so that the Department of Finance can add the business improvement zone for non-residential buildings. During the meeting of our board on September 9th, the board administrated the operating budget for 2026 with revenues and expenses for 37,300. In terms of the estimated income, about 120,500. The rate per dollar of assessment will remain the same, 20 cents for each dollar of assessment. For each $100 of assessment, the non-residential properties in the downtown. In preparation for 2026, the board is asking you to adopt the 2026 budget. Do you have any questions for the 2020 regarding the 2026 budget? Are there any councillors who have any questions? Councillor Peter Bro. It's not a question per se, but more a comment. I congratulate you for the great work you're doing downtown. I think that we're really fortunate to have people like you who are handling the downtown, taking care of the downtown. It's beautiful. And I congratulate you. Keep up the good work. Thank you. Councillor Bro. I'm not sure if Councillor Patricia Brooke-Chevalier or Galan have any comments. That's fine if you don't have any comments. Well, I'm fine. Great. Thank you. To continue, we have some special thanks to the Liaison Committee, Mr. Emile O'Brien, for his support and for the downtown. In the name of the board and the director of Shediac Downtown, we want to thank you for this great collaboration and your support to the downtown. It's really at the heart of town. Thank you. Thank you very much. I know that on our part, as Councillor Bro has said, well, you're doing remarkable work in our community. And it is thanks to the contributions that the businesses in the downtown do to improve the downtown. This is what contributes, one of the things that contributes to our lovely community. Thank you very much and keep up the good work. Thank you. Well, great. Next item.
Rolling very long as well.
Well, we're rolling right along tonight. Cap-Bimet historical site. Is it the CAO or is it the clerk who will give us the background? Apparently, I've won this one. I felt like encouraging Councillor Paul Boudreau to present this topic. This is a file. Well, we're aware of it. We received some letters over the past week, and you've been made cognizant of it. What they're asking for a contribution. Councillor Paul Boudreau approached us last week, and he asked us to put the letter quickly on the agenda so that we could accept take receipt of it, and the council could then study the file, especially with the budget deliberations that are upcoming. I'm not sure if you have any questions regarding that letter. I took cognizance of it at the same time as you. So it's we want to acknowledge receipt of the letter to show that the Municipal Council has received that communication from the Historical Society. Councillor Boudreau, thank you, Sylvain. Thank you for adding to the agenda. Yes, I'm aware of the file. It's a regional project. I would propose sending information to the Arts and Culture and Heritage Committee so that they can take cognizance of this file, and then they can provide a recommendation. That was all. No, there's no decisions to be made tonight. I do thank you for bringing it up to the agenda. I had the opportunity to speak with someone from that group as well. Just they gave me, the highlights. Listen, it's a noble objective on the part of this group of citizens to preserve the territory where people are buried. There would be ancestors. So some of us, some of our families dating pretty far back. So that's why they're looking to collect some funds to meet their objectives to preserve that site. It's simply that. Now that we're more aware, we can consider it a little more future date. In terms of standing committees and special committee reports, there's the fire department. The fire chief is not here. These are the figures that we see every time as of the end of August. So we see some trends, some comparisons compared to the previous year. Does anybody have any specific questions that we could ask the fire chief when he'll be here next time? And under 8.2, there's a building permit report. Those are the figures for the end of August. And we can see that to date, well, it gives us an idea of the building permits when they're becoming in. It's not for a specific date, but we're up to 39.5 million, which is less than last year. But last year there was one big commercial permit, the industrial in Squiduk Industrial Park, Trenton's cold storage, that really blew up the figures from the previous year. But there's some good support. Before the pandemic, figures of 25 million, that was a good year. And now we're nearly at 40 million, and the year is not up yet. So you can see what's happening with residential and multi-residential. Are there any questions? Councillor Jeunesse Cormier. Thank you, Your Worship. On that diagram, you see 39 million. These are building permits. It's just indicated once it's granted, right? Yes. Do you know if Plan 360 is up to date with their building permits? Yes. Those figures are taken from Plan 360. They publish them at the end of each month. That was a question I had. That was all. Councillor Paul Boudreau. Yes, is the English-speaking school in there? No, not yet. They're still in the design phase. They haven't sought the building permit yet. Maybe next year, maybe even just in 2027. It depends. We shall see. That one, well, that won't be a small one, obviously. So next item, CAO's report. Mr. Legere. Thank you, Your Worship. As the mayor was saying, as the mayor was saying at the start of the meeting, it's the Municipalities Week, and as part of this week, I would like to thank the staff. I'd like to thank the municipal employees. They work every day in service of our citizens. We plan some activities. We're planning some activities to help them to thank them over the week. And just a reminder that there will be an activity on Wednesday morning with the mayor. The mayor will do a little session in collaboration with the Chamber of Commerce and the Downtown Corporation. I'm anxious to see what will be discussed. Stay tuned. So a big thanks to the employees and thanks to you, as elected officials. You play a major role. You play a major role in the operation of a municipality, and you're often perhaps not as recognized or acknowledged as you should be. Thank you for your contribution, and thank you for the time that you grant to the citizens. In terms of training, we have some staff members who participated in a conference last week in Bouctouche. It was Municipal Administrators Conference for New Brunswick. Lots of great training was offered, lots of great discussion, in particular with Minister Kennedy and their staff. We had the opportunity to get some information on fiscal reform, tax reform, that will also be shared in the various meetings over the next few weeks with the Union of Municipalities and AFNB. You will have the opportunity to hear where we are at with fiscal reform, with tax reform. What I can tell you is that they told us during one of the sessions that we will be receiving an estimated preliminary estimate regarding equalization. The assessment is still, it will be a few weeks before we get it, but in terms of equalization, they're sharing an amount of about 70,000, which is similar or very similar to what we had last year. It's encouraging. We saw that amount going down year after year since the reform, but they've also shared with us that there's a new program for capital infrastructure renewal plan. It's a new plan, and we would be receiving an amount of over $500,000 there. So this is positive for the municipality. This will enable us to ensure that we can continue to renew our infrastructure and renew our assets. And see to the completion of those projects. Well, in terms of the staff, lately we're very busy. We're preparing the 2026 budget. I've already shared the dates within via eScribe. We're preparing a presentation to council in a few weeks. We're actively working on preparing the 2026 budget. For those of you who traveled in the region of Kent towards Shediac, maybe you noticed that one of our road signs was replaced. We still have a few that need to be changed, but you can see that the change is starting. The three big signs, three big road signs. I'd like to do some follow-up on a study that the council had started. It's related to the service study for Plan 360. I want to give you an update on that one. The study, the assessment is nearly done. We had a meeting this morning to provide us with an overview. There are still a few focus group sessions internally, but also with the developers and the stakeholders who use the service in southeastern New Brunswick. Those sessions will take place in the next few weeks, in the upcoming weeks, and we should be able to present the final report, well, soon, as part of the budget process. In terms of municipal operations, on Calder Street, you may have noticed that there is a first layer of asphalt that has been set down, and the curbing as well. Now, there's still about 2 more weeks of work to be done to do some landscaping, sidewalks, and apply all the final touches. The project is progressing well, but there's about 2 weeks left before works are done. In terms of culverts, there's about another week, 2 weeks or so to that project as well. There's some minor delays around acquiring material to be able to start to do the project, but now the project seems well in place. In terms of the extension of Breaux Bridge, it's advancing very well. It's obviously difficult to see progress. It's not a progress that you drive and see. It's really in the background. Basically, we're being told that the project is advancing well, and maybe they might be ahead of schedule for some phases. But please remember that the road will not be completed this year. It's meant for 2026, but the project is advancing well. Engineering staff is working hard to plan 2026 projects. This will, as part of the budget process, we will be able to present the 5-year plan and also the asset management plan. As you will recall, the asset management plan will tell us which The asset management plan will tell us where our infrastructure is, our buildings, where our buildings are in terms of their quality, service delivery, what kinds of investments we need to make. And this helped us to update our and create our 5-year plan. We will be presenting this mid-October or so, and you'll get an update then. And a reminder, in terms of municipal operations, the fire hall, the official opening is set for October 5th. It's a Sunday. There'll be a series of activities planned for that. So I would encourage you to participate in that activity. And lastly, it's the recreation center, but we'll be presenting a little presentation on that. It's on the agenda. So that is my report. Are any questions on the items presented by our CIO? Councillor Peter Breaux, just a little question. In terms of the opening of the Breaux Bridge extension, have we received a date? Will it be before summer 2026, or is there no date? I have no date. Right now, as I understand it, it's a project 42 weeks or so, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, and within those 40 weeks, we reserve approximately 13 or 14 weeks in 2026. So it will depend if on the spring. Can they start work again then? Yes. Obviously, the later that the provincial roads can accommodate heavy vehicles, well, that will have an effect. So there's no specific date. But in 2026, we set aside 13 or 14 weeks. That's the plan. So it could possibly be open for the summer. It's possible. It's possible, but yeah, you're talking about a little more than 3 months. It depends on when they start. We shall see. So, there's no recommendations to the Regional Service Commission and unfinished business. There's the Recreation Center. Madam Director will present that to us. It gives you a bit of a timeline, some sense of the steps included in the process. Could Madame Bélanger speak to it? Let's just put those images on the screen, please.
Merci.
Thank you.
Il était prêt.
He was ready. So, here are the actions suggested by Consultant Luc Bégeot in his Recreation Center development plan. So for the whole project, right now, we have 2 completed actions. You see the green indicates complete, orange is in progress, and red, these are things that are not started yet. So in terms of what is completed, this was done with the help of the consultant, Mr. Bégeot. In 2025, we're doing the orange steps. The next image clearly shows where we are in preparing all of this. So BCD group was designated to do our business plan. They're doing the first 2 steps. This is a capacity assessment and our business plan. Those 2 things are being done together. And BC2 have already done the first 4 phases of the business plan, and there are 6 in total. In the images of services in use, as is being studied in our market market zone. It all depends on the service studied and what type of plateau that will have at the recreation center. Will there be gyms? Will there be swimming? In terms of recreation, it was that all was all within one building. It was all studied as part of our market zone from Greater Bouctouche to Capelé. And from there, the BC2 group were able to analyze the type of services that would be doable in Shediac. So they studied the users and how busy we could be at the recreational center, and then it shows the style of service that we should be having. We've identified that according to the analysis done, nothing has been officially filed, but this is based on drafts. We need a center, an aquatic center, community style. So we need a center with a recreational pool and somewhere where you can swim lengths. And there's a gym that we don't have a double gym or a water gym rather, other services that are being finalized. And when we speak of finalizing the style of services that would be offered in the recreational center, last week there was a committee from the town of Shediac that met the BC2 group, and we revised the analysis that was done by the group, BC2 group, and knowing in our community, we were able to identify the types of options that we'd like to have to put in to close out the analysis by the BC2 group. So steps 4 and 5 and 6 would be the last two steps for the business plan. The study they'll be studying costs related to each of the services, each of the plateaus that would define the edifice. So here's the summary for those two steps that we're finishing right now. There's still, we expect 3 or 4 more weeks of work before we get the cost analysis. And we also have the two next ones, either the type of construction format, the construction format, as well as the construction site. The site selection, we gave that to Englobe to identify the site that could meet the needs of our project. They are currently studying various sites in the community, and they will be issuing a recommendation. In association with that, we were able to identify the various services that we wanted to offer in those buildings. So the architectural team is starting design work for the building, and they will finalize the initial design work once the business plan is defined, given that we will then know the type of services that we'll be offering in that building. So we have another working meeting with Englobe this week. It will be to make progress and follow up. In terms of comms, the most interesting topic with all that, well, it's a bit difficult right now in this phase of the project to show the progress for the public. The public is not seeing anything concrete. There's no design. No site has been selected. So for the public, it's hard to see the progress being made.
Ça risque d'être encore comme ça pour quelques mois. Ça fait que d'ici, on vous partage un peu les avancements.
So here we are just sharing the progress with you. So we invite you to collaborate with the communication, like saying work is progressing. So we are continuing the progress of our project to see the feasibility of this project. So with this image number 3, we see what's left to do. There's a fundraising campaign to be developed. And when we're talking to develop, we have no plan now, like for the fundraising campaign or there's resource styles we could get just for the money needs and to approach. And in the funding style resources, well, we need like to make sure we have solid documentation, and so they can give us like the right action. So we are so we can have success with our project. So we have a fundraising campaign. We have also like donations campaign. So we have grants, the styles that would be possible to get. And a third source of funding would be like a sponsorship plan. So overall, we have two plans to develop. So we have like the donations plan. So this is the first is a philanthropic feasibility we would have in our region and also in relation with our project. So this plan would give us the right direction to get the donation, so we could for the recreation center. So this plan would be to. We need 3 to 6 months to create the feasibility study, the philanthropic feasibility study, and we estimate $40,000 of investment to create this plan. Jointly with this, since we would get some sources that could benefit from a sponsorship plan and some donations, so experts would have to discuss with each other, and we also have like the sponsorship campaign that would need to be done jointly with the philanthropic feasibility. So in the sponsorship campaign, we would be creating like the sponsorship plan, and then we would assess like the integral value of the asset. So in the assets integral value, we will study like the culture of our community, in the sense that we wish to put the money at the value at the right place to get like people from the community to integrate within the project. So it becomes a community project. In this sponsorship plan, we need like to know the culture of our community in order like to focus on the right place and do it properly. Then, so it will go to, we need 6 to 8 months like to do the designs, and then we will assess maybe $50,000 for the investment of the sponsorship plan. Voila. So once we know we can get some money and we're on the right track, we'll be writing our tender for the construction. So that's why we're aiming for the end of 2026, beginning of 2027, in order to have solid funding sources. So and that means you're sure we can go forward. And once we are aligned with the construction, we can prepare like the operational plan, so the recruitment of the staff, and also how we can help the staff depending on the service style, because it will be you at the end of the day, you will have the last say of the style of service will be offering in this building. So we are expecting official opening between 2029 and 2031. Thank you very much. I really liked your comments and remarks. Okay. It could seem like for someone from the public, so what's happening? Like I've been hearing about it for a long time, but like we didn't start like construction, but it takes a lot of time to prepare. And it's not a small project. The bigger the project, the more attention it needs. So we are like in the green instead of being in the red. Thank you. Yes, it gives you a good overview, and I discuss it with the citizen. At least like what we could say, but at least like we have a little bit more information. So we have to work on these things and hear what's left to do. So at least it gives them like some kind of an idea of how things will happen. And we're certainly hoping to get the support from the community and sponsors and also our government partners to realize this great project. So Councillor Cormier. Thanks for the great presentation. And I think our citizens will be happy to know where we're at. So we are where we are. I would have a couple of questions. So you mentioned earlier gymnasium. So will the study consider like there's a new school being built? And we still have a couple of other gyms like at the LJR school and here in Chediac. So everything will be considered? Well, LJR does not have a double gymnasium, so it's been studied. As for the new school, like during the school hours, it's a time like the gym will not be accessible. There's always partnership like after schools that could do school, but we have to consider it's still an infrastructure like everyone is paying for, and we should take advantage of this too. And also the plan for the services offered in the school was sent also to the group. And also like we're looking as far as Bouctouche and Cap Acadie, or even the possibility that the need for a pool. We talk about two types of pools. I do not want to get into details. Are we looking like for the demand, like for the greater region? So what would be the traffic according to the services offered? So I presume like when you say maybe we're looking, Mr. Mayor, like to have a regional partnership with the three other municipalities. So would it be possibly long term? Is it possibly what we're looking for? Essentially, yes. And for the Regional Service Commission, one of their mandates is the cost sharing of a recreation services. So I don't know if that's the exact name, but so there are some procedures and processes that are established to facilitate these discussions. I just want to make sure like it was your mindset to go forward. It was just to share. Councillor Paul Boudreau. Thank you. So you kind of designated me in the committee last week. I met with the Julie, the consultant. Very interesting. I share very quickly what Julie mentioned, like as Councillor Lames, it's regional. And it was great like to get like the pool of the possible a client of this new infrastructure and the resources we have in our region. It was really interesting. So the two little red flags that she mentioned, also like the growth. So they did some study like how the population is growing. So with the federal restriction and immigration, it was a little red flag. So it's and the other one is the referent Roland just mentioned, yes, with the pool of our possible client who could serve from Bouctouche to Cap Acadie, and the operation costs and capital costs for the infrastructure, which method, and Julie mentioned it's coming like with the strategy of fundraising. So it would be a very important step to negotiate. Very happy with that report. Thank you, Julie. And I'm confident like this process will continue. One of those questions with the federals, I see the date like 2031, or the individuals were more aware. So is it falls like where our MLA will still be in power, or? He was elected this year, so 2025, so it brings us to 2029, in theory, like 4 years. Yes, we would look also like a commitment way before, like. But we had some preliminary discussion, and it's not up to the point like we can make an official request, but with what we're trying, like we'll be able, like with requests for grants with different level of government and possible partners in order to realize this project. it would be sooner than later. So it's really like 2026, 2027. Either like the donation or sponsorship are coming in, and commitment also. And also commitment, like not only promises, like without our commitment from our federal and provincial partners. So that's. Thank you, bravo Lucie, Julie, bravo to the team. And I'm looking forward to the next step. We're all looking forward to the next step. Keep up the good work. Number 12, intro to new business. So we had the freeze of assessment and also like an evaluation. So we all got, like, I think you should have received, because it was sent to all municipal elected officials. I was able to read it. We were looking at least like to get familiar, get a commitment with this, because this tax-free assessment freeze, which was promised by the province. Because yes, they can do it. It's not something that was expected from municipalities. It's not something usual. And for a municipality like experiences growth like ours, it means like this growth, we will not have it. So we need to make budget adjustments. It might become less interesting and way less interesting. And I know like our associations are asking us not essentially to repeat what the mayor just said. Any discussion I had like with a public servant and who gave me the privilege to discuss with them, I mentioned like this impact here, the impact it will have short term, especially on our finances and the next budget and the next financial year. I understand that there's other municipalities on the same boat. A lot of municipalities are experiencing like the same frustration. I think Connectivity Association, they would like for us to participate to a concerted effort to share our frustration, and not only to share frustration, but share the direct impact it will have on our finances, like with this situation. Mainly, we wanted to share like the tools we have and the effort we would like to start, if you agree. Thank you. And from our municipal associations, and they were very much involved like in the tax reform and municipal reform. It was a surprise for them, even if they were in discussion with the provincial government. It was like a curveball to them. So they did it like for some reason, well, which are, I mean, people are complaining, like politicians on this matter. At least it's a way like to tell them it's not a measure that will be good financially for the municipality. Will it be for the citizen? Well, it will help them financially, of course. Councillor Michael Roy.
Mayor, did I understand that new construction is going to be frozen as well?
No. So essentially, the municipality, to kind of paint the picture, last year we had a tax assessment of about 1.9 billion, but we had about 282 million in what was called the spike protection mechanism envelope. So ultimately, based on former rules, is they would not, your assessment would not go up more than 10%. Correct. Meaning that if you're in the spike protection mechanism, you would get 10% that's released on the $1.9 million or $1.9 billion side. Unfortunately, that's what's the main part that's being frozen. And it's not only the ones that had spike protection mechanism, but it's every resident within New Brunswick will benefit from a freeze in their assessment. So meaning that if their house was worth X last year, it's going to be assessed as X again this year. What we will still benefit from, though, is new construction. So new construction is something that we'll benefit 100% of, but also land transfer. So assuming you had a house that was evaluated at X, but in the spike protection mechanism was X plus whatever's in the spike protection mechanism, and that house was sold, we will get that whole amount. So new construction and adjustments based on land transfers we'll still get. But, you know, instead of getting the traditional 10+% in increased assessments, we'll likely see a lot less than that. We obviously don't know the exact impact, but we're estimating anywhere between 2 and 3% right now. So anything more than 2-3%, we'll look at it as a bonus for us, which means that we won't get the anticipated increase we would have had because of this tax assessment.
Yeah.
So to simplify things, and it's hard to do with taxes and assessment, I guess, but
So essentially, if
no,
Go ahead.
If you don't mind,
Go ahead.
if the province didn't freeze the existing assessments, and if they went up, say 10%, if the tax bill that people pay goes up 10% automatically based on that assessment, municipalities say it's not us, it's the province that did that. With the assessments being frozen, if there's a requirement to raise the municipal tax rate, it's all on us.
Exactly.
Exactly.
We can't turn to and say, oh, the province did that, so it's not our fault, it's the assessment. So in my view, I don't see the sense in protesting. It just means that we're going to have to bite the bullet and we're going to have to justify the tax increase that we impose on the taxpayers of the town of Shediac. Already, speaking of Pointe Sheen, and I isolate it because that's where I represent, and it's also different from the other LSDs, the rate that we pay.
Mm-hmm.
The 5 cents, which I fully anticipate the administration is going to be going for this year, that represents 9.5% increase in taxes paid to the town of Shediac. That 5 cents
Within the ward.
on top of the 51 or whatever is more or less a 9.5% increase in the taxation that's being paid to the town of Shediac. If that's with the assessments frozen. If the assessments went up 10% and that 5 cents is added, that's 19.5%.
Yeah.
I don't support what the Union of Municipalities is seeking. To me, it's not really clear what the advantages are, except that we're going to have to look hard and close at programs that we have. It doesn't mean the end of the world, but it provides some protection from people who have seen increasing assessments year after year after year. And in the case of our LSDs in particular, huge increases in property taxes. And in the case of our LSDs in particular, not a hell of a lot of increase in municipal service, to be honest. So I, for one, won't be supporting the request from the union. Thank you.
Thank you. So ceci, c'était pas pour un vote. This wasn't for a vote. This was just to make us aware of that. Anyway. So, à moins qu'il y ait autre question.
Unless there are any other questions. Councillor Cormier, thank you, Mr. Mayor. If it's not a vote, so what will we be doing with all those letters? So these are the means. Like we were looking to get just maybe a pulse. The mayor would send a letter, but we could change it as we wish. Like we can adjust it accordingly. So before when we change the letter, we will see it before we send it to all those politicians, or so it means in 2 weeks will come back to us in theory.
No.
We will not send those letters.
Parfait.
Perfect. I know.
UMNB nous a fourni
UMNB also provided
grille Excel pour savoir,
like an Excel grid to know what the impact would be on the budget, and if it's something they develop. So we'll be able to see, does it have an impact, and how much is the impact? Is it something negligible? So we will not, the sky will not fall on our head. If it's important, well, it might be something that we'll come back to you. Number 13, information request by the council members. So any council members I asked you a couple of words, try to send it in advance. So just if it's a new question, something new, we will not have the answers at the meeting. Councillor Joël Després, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to talk with the discussion. Public safety, like, so can I talk about this here? Or that's why I did not send any, so that's, I just wanted to mention to the other council members, were a few councillors who attended like the public safety meeting with the Minister of Public Safety. All the municipalities were there. We all had different challenges, but the most common challenge was a theft. They told us like everybody is not ready to call like the police when they have a theft, because they say by the time they come in, it's too late. Like, yes, we all do it, but if we do not call them, we're not helping ourselves, because if they have no like a statistics to bring to the federal to show there was more theft, if you don't have any stats to show, means we cannot add extra police officers. So they recommend like to tell the citizen to call the police. If we see something that's not normal, if we think it's a theft, well, just a call and they'll be able to include it in their statistic. Please share it. So the RCMP works with data. So it's not only like stories, it's really bad, like in my neighborhood, but you look at the data, you got 5 calls in 6 months. So there's not a whole lot of activities. Maybe there are 10 times more. But if people do not call them, they will not know. Mr. Clerk.
Là, ça marche. There you go.
Okay. It's just to tell you, I was in discussion today with our sergeant from RCMP, Pierre-Luc Caché, for the next meeting for October 6th. So if you have any questions, points you would like to bring to that meeting, you would like to know in advance, so at least you can get ready and get some data and statistics. If you have any questions, please forward it to us, and then we'll be able to forward those questions to them. And you'll be ready to answer your questions at the next meeting, October 6th. He mentioned it like during the meeting. If anything you would like to, something you would like to do, just let me know, and I'll be able to give you those information. Councillor Paul Boudreau. Thanks for the email. Sorry. Yeah, I kind of neglected to send. I send you a couple of questions, even if they don't answer like with an email to respect the staff. Like it's on the same file for the Pascal Poirier House. One of the solutions I like also is to strike a committee. Could we have like an update, like when this committee will be put in place, like in a few weeks, or for Pascal Poirier? And will there any work be done this fall to help just so it's not damaged, put some tarps, or just to go through the winter? So what is the strategy of the staff? Maybe I knew some bandit, so I don't like that word, but what are you proposing for this winter? That was all, but thank you, Joël, for the reminder, also for the meeting with RCMP. So that was it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, council members. Councillor Emile, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Mr. Mayor, I would like to talk about our municipal parks. We have several parks, and the public is using them, and I think it's important, like, to be maintained and well managed. Like I see, like the park, like Webster Park, like the Osan Park, John Lyons Park. I'm not attacking anyone. I do not want to offend anyone. You see a little bit of gaps, especially the Webster Park. I see the park seems to be like it's hard to say it's a park, like old tables, old benches. The parking is not really plain. There's a mix of gravel, lawn, and the Osan Park seems to be quite dragged down too. So all of this to say that I'm wondering how much money was invested in our park this year. You don't have to answer this evening. I would like to get an answer, like how much money was invested in our park. Like, Rotary, I know, like Pascal Poirier Park, yes, that's fine, but that's it. But my second point, do we have a timeline? on the part that will be built on the Justin Street. It was looking like I wanted to get I would like to get a timeline. By memory, well, I don't have it at the tip of my tongue. Maybe 2026.
Madame Bélanger?
Mrs. Bélanger, so the plans were done. The design was done. So we just have to start the building. It's a 5-year plan, the operation plan. So we'll come back with the information. Essentially, the activity on site would be on 2026.
Une bonne ligne de temps.
Mon deuxième point,
Yes, the second point, like the Pascal Poirier House for the committee. So now they're talking about the strategic plan. So they're talking about the committee. So yes, they will finish like their thing in 2026. So the way I read it, it says like the committee to decide the vocation of the Pascal Poirier House will be only put like in the second part of 2026. No, the work will be done by that. Okay, I stand corrected. So I encourage Paul's question. Like I know decided like for the committee, but this committee be done. I had many discussions on this matter over the weekend because a lot of people are mentioning it to me. That's it. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Perfect. So let's go to the next one. Item 14, by reading, we have the bylaw for the composition of the municipal council, second and third reading. There's only 2 motions like for each reading, so.
Madame la maire suivante, tu veux en parler?
Mrs. Deputy Mayor would like to read it. Absolutely, Mr. Mayor. The composition of municipal council 25, be it resolved like the bylaw entitled like bylaw 2501, the bylaw respecting composition of municipal council, be read a second time by its title and its integrality. I shall move. Entirety and integrality. I think it's the same reading for the clerk. Moved by Deputy Mayor Sylvie Boudreau, seconded by Councillor Jean-Claude Bertin. There's no Jean-Pierre here. Questions on the motion? Councillor Roland Cormier. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will try not to repeat my position on this file, but I will use the words from Mr. Mélenchon. He is in the room now. So Mr. Mélenchon mentioned like the downtown was the heart of the municipality. Mr. Mélenchon, and I agree with you, like downtown is the heart of your municipality. But in the heart, there are some arteries. And the arteries, well, these are like more remote regions or municipality, and to make a municipality dynamic, the arteries have to be in good shape, and the arteries has to agree like they are welcome to get to the heart, because we need blood to make like the heart pump, and we need also blood to pump the municipality. So the approach we're getting into, in my opinion, it's not the right direction. I think there was an agreement. There were 2 like the councillors that were part of those committees. We had the Councillor Boudreau and Mr. Mayor. Like when we started the municipal reform, we were 8 individuals on this committee. So the intent of the 6 others. And so we will agree like with a composition with a municipal council that we have now, and then once we took control,
We're going to reduce the number of counselors from the other region outside of Shediac. I don't think it's a good approach, and I would ask, humbly implore my colleagues to rethink your position on this. And your worship, I will certainly not be voting for it, and I will ask that we have a vote by raising our hands so that all residents of Shediac can know where the councillors stand on this file. Thank you, your worship. Thank you, Mr. Councillor. Any other questions? Remote, any questions? I don't see any. Inaudible. So, on that note, as I was saying, we know what the vote's about. We know the measure requested to reduce the size of the Shediac from three out of the old part of Shediac and one out of the outer parts of the new parts of Shediac. We had a vote on the first reading. I think people understood this file well. All those in favor, raise your hand. 7. All those against. 3. And remote, those 4. Madame Bookchever, are you for or against? Against. Councillor Germain? Galland? I'm for it, your worship. 8-4. Yes. That's that. Motion carried. Mr. Clerk. No problem.
Arrêté numéro
2501, bylaw, point of order, Councillor Cormier. Councillor Germain, she said against. No, she voted for it. I understood it against. That was Patricia. I understood Germain. No. No, I voted for it. Thank you, your worship. I just want to clarify to make sure. It's okay? Bylaw 2501, accomplishment of the municipal council by virtue of be enacted by the council of the town of Shediac and the authority vested in it by the Local Governance Act as follows. This bylaw may be cited as the composition of the municipal council bylaw. Two definitions. Act means the Local Governance Act, SNB 2017, Chapter 18. Bylaw means bylaw respecting composition of the municipal council for the town of Shediac. A council means town of Shediac Council, Conseil Municipal. All definitions contained in the Act and regulations form part of this bylaw. 3. Application. The purpose of this bylaw is to establish the composition of the municipal council of the town of Shediac. B. In the event of a discrepancy between this bylaw and the Local Governance Act, the latter shall prevail. C. In this bylaw. I. Ward 1, known as the Shediac Ward, refers to the territorial borders established for Ward 1 as defined by the map in Appendix A of the bylaw. 2. Ward 2, known as the Pointe-du-Chêne Ward, refers to the territorial boundaries established for the Ward 2 as defined by the map in Appendix A of the bylaw. 3. Ward 3, known as the Shediac Cape Ward, refers to the territorial boundaries established for Ward 3 as defined by the map in Appendix A of the bylaw. 4. Ward 4, known as the Scoudouc Ward, refers to the territorial boundaries established for Ward 4 as defined by the map in Appendix A of the bylaw. 4. Accomplishment of council. The council of the town of Shediac is composed of 1 mayor and 9 councillors elected by ward. A. The mayor is elected at large within the territorial boundaries defined by the map in Schedule 34 of Regulation 2022-50 of the Act. And B. Each councillor represents a specific ward as outlined below. 1. 6 councillors for Ward 1, Shediac. 1 councillor for Ward 2, Pointe-du-Chêne. 1 councillor for Ward 3, Shediac Cape. 1 councillor for Ward 4, Scoudouc. 5. Effective date. This bylaw comes into force on the date it has been filed by council with the municipal electoral officer.
Merci, Monsieur Greffier.
Thank you, Your Worship. Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Be it resolved that we accept the second reading of bylaw number 25 by 1 by its title and in its entirety. Moved by Deputy Mayor Sylvie Collot-Boudreau, seconded by Councillor Jean-Claude Bertin. All those in favor, raise your right hand. 7. Those against? 3. And now online, remote. Councillor Germaine Galland, I'm against it. I'm for it. I'm for it. I didn't see how to vote for it. I thought you understood. That's fine. Councillor Patricia Brooke-Cheverty, I'm against it. 8-4. Because you're remote and I don't see you, I'm going to ask you to say it. It's just simply, it's sorry for this, for surprising you. Madam Deputy, be resolved that the bylaw 2501, a bylaw on the composition of the municipal reading, be resolved that the third reading of bylaw number 25 by its title. Moved by Sylvie Collot-Boudreau, seconded by Councillor Boudreau. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those against? 3. Remote. Patricia Brooke-Cheverty against. Thank you, Councillor Patricia. Councillor Germaine Galland, 4. Mr. Clerk. No, yes. Bylaw 2501, a bylaw on the composition of the Municipal Council of the Town of Shediac. Madam Deputy Mayor, be it resolved that the third reading of bylaw number 25-01 by its title is accepted. Moved by Deputy Mayor Sylvie Collot-Boudreau, seconded by Councillor Jean-Claude Bertin. All those in favor, raise your hand. 4. For it. Councillor Peterborough. According to what we received, even if we accept this proposal, the government can still refuse our request, even if it's accepted by council. Is that correct? Mr. CAO, in theory, yes, but they've already given provided approval in principle if we follow steps 5 and 6 listed in their documents. If we were to do the three readings tonight, it's our opinion that it's just that would just be a formality to conclude steps 5. So the department, as well as registration with Elections New Brunswick. So if all of those things are done, we don't anticipate any objections on the part of the minister. We've already received approval in principle. We had to achieve that. In theory, we couldn't have done. We finish this without that approval. All those in favor shall raise their hand. For it. Thank you, Councillor Garment. All those against? Councillor Patricia, against it. Thank you. Sometimes you don't know if the mic caught us. So motion carried. Thank you very much. Next item, in terms of motions and resolutions, the 2026 budget that was presented by Centre-Ville Shediac tonight, by Downtown Shediac. You've become aware of the budget and they presented. Would you like to make the motion, Councillor O'Brien? Yes? Considering that it's 15.1, Centre-Ville Shediac Downtown Inc. 2026 budget. Considering that the Municipal Council received the proposed operating budget for 2026 from Centre-Ville Shediac Downtown Inc. for approval, therefore be it resolved that the clerk, in the name and on behalf of council, be responsible for publishing within the time prescribed by section 4.2 of the Business Improvement Areas Act
relativement à l'adoption
public
des
notice
objectifs
of the adoption of such bylaw, and the deadline for receiving written objectives to the budget be set for October 6, 2026. I so move. Moved by Councillor Emile O'Brien, seconded by Councillor Joël Cormier. No, Joël Després, rather.
Ça, c'est un vrai déshonneur.
That's really quite something.
Tous en faveur, on dira.
All those in favor shall say aye.
Oui.
Contre, non.
A contrary-minded nay.
Conseil. Pas une question? Non.
Any
Adopté.
questions?
Merci.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Je commence à avoir de la misère avec vos derniers noms, là. C'est pas bon.
I'm starting having a hard time with your last names. It's not a good thing. Number 15.2, the Boosted Trail. Who will give us the background on this one? Then go ahead, Mr. CAO. Thank you, Your Worship.
On a préparé un mémo
Well, we prepared a memo
concernant ce projet ici.
relating to this project.
Évidemment, je vais laisser la directrice
I will let
de la vie communautaire.
the Recreation Community Life Director speak to this. If you have any questions,
Je vous laisse la parole.
the mic is to you.
Un peu d'historique.
The floor is yours.
Le but de-
Some history
du-
on
Donc,
the purpose of the memo. In 2019, as you know, there was a master
directeur des loisirs
the
pour notre département
Recreation Director Master Plan for our department at the town of Shediac, where we mentioned
doivent être prioritaires
that so the priority investments to be made in the future
d'envergure.
trails
Puis, en
for
juillet,
a
avec
park.
ce plan-là,
In
on a
conjunction with that
déjà
plan,
un partenariat avec
we already had one
l'association
partnership
partenaire
with the Association Shediac Outdoor Association that is named Apaswa.
Depuis 2019 ou depuis
And
leur,
since 2019,
mise en œuvre, la
since they came into being, they built a network. It's 12 kilometers of foot trails.
Des terres privées.
This is all on private land where they've made agreements.
Apaswa calcule au-dessus de 2000
Napaswa
heures de
has calculated that over 2,000 hours of volunteer work. This is maintenance that we don't have to do in town as a town to ensure really great recreation opportunities that are very popular in the region. Those trails have brought in a lot of tourists to the region. It's also made the headlines with Mountain Bike Atlantic. So Mountain Bike Atlantic is an organization that promotes the use of trails. They have very precise criteria. It has to be self-sufficient. There has to be parking, some services, and the level of accessibility on the trails has to be exemplary for mountain biking and as well as for hiking. So they promote it. And the town had already started taken up some actions to have to come up with a large-scale plan, large-scale nature park plan. They acquired land last year between the parking lot for the Apaswa network and the NB Power Solar Field. Now we're seeing a lot of people using it. People come from all over in the region, and even people from Quebec and from Ontario. However, there were some incidents last year that affected the use of the trails. It created a feeling of lack of safety among users, and there was a reduction. There was an altercation with wild dogs. So given that Apaswa and their network, they created a detour trail. Despite those efforts, it did not resolve the situation. Apaswa made a recommendation that we go forward with the development of the La Boustée Trail. It's a corridor that they created last year for some snow trails for snowshoes and fat bikes. So if we trust in the operational plan, the strategic plan, we're really aiming for several sectors, including safety, the safety of our citizens and the users and tourists. We would also like to develop a nature park. That's also part of our strategic plan to attract tourism businesses. That's part of our strategic plan and our operation plan as well. So that's the information that leads to the encouragement to continue in the efforts to create the La Buste Trail. It was named by Passoa. I don't know the reason why it was called that. La Buste is it's a 1.8 kilometer trail. We had set out, we planned for 108,000 in 2025 to build that trail. We made efforts in front of the SDR for grants. Unfortunately, they froze their funds. We did make a request to free up funds to complete construction of the La Buste Trail. And from there, staff made a request for proposals. There were 4 submissions received. We assessed them, and with your agreement to free up the funds and be able to emphasize the partnership we have with Passoa and the Rotary Club. I'm referenced to an in-camera session that we had a few months ago. Thank you for that information. It's good to see that the trails continue to be made. It's a great asset. The trail network is a great asset. We're pleased that there were no forest fires. That's why they stayed closed as well. Councillor Jonas Cormier, would you like to read the motion? The Buste Trail, whereas this trail will improve citizens' quality of life, visitors' experience, and the municipality's reputation. Be it resolved, the municipal council accept the recognition of the administration that the municipal council authorized the use of funds already budgeted for this project in the council's specials account to enable the construction of the La Buste Trail in the fall of 2025. Be it also resolved that the proposal from Skid Limited be accepted for an amount of 143,750, including taxes. I so move, Your Worship. Moved by Councillor Jonas Cormier, seconded by Councillor Paul Boudreau. Any questions on this one? Councillor Jonas Cormier. Thank you, Your Worship. Thank you, Julie, for your presentation. During the budget process last year, is this the item that you mentioned, that we get money from the provincial government and it didn't work? Yes, that's exactly it. I'm not against the project, Your Worship. But when we accept a budget, thinking that we will be getting money so that people get sold the project and we don't get that money, I don't like that. It's not a good thing that I just don't like this at all, Your Worship. It's not a good feeling. No, when we accepted this, you know, Your Worship, myself and Councillor Desprez, we're speaking about our project in Scoudouc. Once again, boom, it's happening in Shediac again. That's why I was hesitant to accept it. I accepted the budget last year, thinking that we weren't going to spend that money, or there was a possibility of having it in Scoudouc, and then administration is deciding once again that the heart is more important than the arteries, and once again we won't be getting it. So, Your Worship, I don't like this. Thank you, Councillor Cormier. Councillor Paul Boudreau, any question? It's a good project. For the trails, is there an update? I'm calling it the Shediac Scoudouc Greater Moncton Trail. It's really, it's out of order for this item here. I understand, but we can talk about it separately. Thank you. So, with that, all those in favor shall say aye. Those who are against, nay. One no. Motion carried. Number 15.3, Provincial Municipal Highway Partnership Project, PMHP. Mr. CAO, can you give us the background on this one? Thank you, Your Worship. This is a program. It's a provincial program, and they're asking for our priorities, where we'd like to invest in terms of regional roads. It's a shared program where we can share costs. Our request is 15 to 20% of the total value of the project. Our investment, rather. This means that the province would finance most of the project if it is adopted. But to participate in the program, we need to make an application, a specific application to participate in this program. Next year, I'll remind you, we're receiving an amount. This is for the Main Street project. That's part of Main Street. One of the criteria is they have to submit a 3-year plan and share the priorities that where we would like to receive some money. These amounts, they'll be set out in the 5-year plan that we will be presenting during the budget process. So you basically can see where the priority projects are in terms of regional roads. We have a very similar approach. It's a very similar approach. Lately, we don't have 2 years in a row with projects on Main Street. We do it occasionally in 2027. We do not want to receive money, financing. We don't want to take start project. So our 2027 request is the same for till 2028. If it's accepted, we would see 2026 construction and potentially in 2028 on Main Street, and etc. One of the criteria is that we need a council resolution to adopt the recommendations for the 3 projects or the 3-year projects that we can submit to the project to participate in the project or to have a chance to get financing paid by the provincial government. Thank you, Mr. CAO. If you want a presentation of the projects, I can ask Nick to present them as well. If there are any questions, we were a bit more fortunate over the past few years. It's a request. It doesn't mean it will be accepted. The province does not need to support it. From 2012 to 2019, we got money once. We got some in 2022 for Main Street. We got some for 2024 for Main Street. In 2026, we'll get some for Main Street, another section. Well, they seem to be paying more attention to us lately. It's unfortunate to have works on Main Street, but it's a good thing once it's done. Would you like to read it? Councilor Cormier, I had a question. You can ask the question afterwards. Maybe my other colleagues can ask it.
Be it resolved that the document entitled the Town of Shediac
Kids who
for the PMHP program 2028-2030 be adopted. I so move, Monsieur le Maire.
Proposé par le conseiller Le Cormier, appuyé de Councillor John Steeves. Question, conseiller Cormier.
Merci, Monsieur le Maire.
Thank you, Your Worship. I do take note here that the first letter is sent to you by Ms. Somebody Gold. I see that the department is not aware that we have 2 MLAs in Shediac. They only CC'd MLA Leblanc. They forgot MLA Gauvin. I hope that when we answer the letter, that we'll make sure that Minister Gauvin is aware of the needs of the town of Shediac. He's in the cabinet when the decisions are made, and we should take advantage of that as a municipality. Absolutely. Thank you, Your Worship. It might be a bit of some chance, but maybe those those roads might be in one of the MLAs rather than the others. They are nonetheless both of our MLAs. We should take advantage of the fact that we have two. Yeah, they might have sent it just for in terms of the MLA that for where it falls under their purview. Question for Yves. Hannington Road Street to Shediac Cape. The strategic plan, they mentioned Hannington. They mentioned Grand Pré and Bonaventure. It looks like a horseshoe. Is it those two streets? Or is it a different one? It's only on Haddington Street. It's a regional road. This program is not for municipal streets. So Grand Pré, those are municipal streets. They're not eligible. It's only for works on that type of road. It's a good question. Nice try. It's a good try. We'll just see. We'll just have the province adopt those streets, I guess. So with that, all those in favor shall say aye. Yes. Those against, no. Motion carried. Thank you. Number 15.4. Main Street engineering on Main Street, South Cove Road to King Street. Is it Mr. CAO? I'll pass the floor to Anik, but basically we're talking about the PMHP plan. We're receiving an amount from the provincial government so that we can do that section next year. We did request for the engineering for that project. We had a sort of matrix to assess people on certain points. I'll let Nick present it to you. I understand that the recommendation will raise some questions around what we will be presenting to you. We didn't make this recommendation lightly, simply because doing work on Main Street, I won't say that it's more complicated, but well, complex, yes. It's a very busy zone, and when we look at getting a partner to help us with those types of projects.
Not that I say we don't want to get it wrong, but
it's not that we don't want to. It's not a question of not wanting to get it wrong, but sometimes we're even more focused, laser focused on making sure that the work goes well, and we are also want to seek to minimize the impact of construction on citizens. So I'll let Nick share the outcome. Nick Arsenault, thank you very much. As Yves mentioned, we did an RFP to our consultants for submissions, for bids, for engineering services to rebuild Main Street. This was a project we foresaw for 2026. It includes Main Street from South Cove Road to King Street. Also a part of South Coast Street Road rather, and a culvert under Main Street close to the bakery, whereas there's a major stream that crosses Main. That was a recommendation from Stormwater Master Plan earlier in the year. So we received 3 bids, and the bids were assessed based on a point system, as Yves mentioned. It's a project that's quite complex. It It would be a big project, a rather complex one. We want to make sure the consultant who provides services, we want to make sure that their services are aligned with our needs and our expectations. It is Main Street. We understand that it's a project that can cause a lot of stress to drivers during construction. We want to make sure that it will be properly managed on the part of our consultants. So we had three bidders, and it was assessed based on cost, but also based on the services that they offer. So in the memo, the consultant who had the highest
the consultant with the highest bid was Anglo. So that's why we're making the recommendation to go with them. So making the recommendation to go with to give those services to the consultant services to Anglo. As we have the experience, like any work on Main Street, it can take almost a life in its own, like sometimes. And the more we can avoid surprises, well, so when we dig, well, sometimes there are surprises. So that's what's important for this. It's the service we will deliver to our citizens, visitors, etc. At least we are up to this point that we are in advance for this project. So even if it's the design, essentially it's the construction season. It will happen eventually, like maybe fall, summer, and spring. So it's a complex project. So you will need like it will go from the beginning to the end of the construction season, 2026, as the administration is aware. We'll try to minimize as much as possible, like the inconvenience or the impact on our citizens or on the businesses that will be on this sector and those residents, like because it's a commercial business. I know that's something you're considering, but with the consultant. So I'm wishing you good success. So, Councillor Paul Boudreau. No, you didn't have any question? Councillor Paul Boudreau, so if you would like to read, be it resolved that the municipal accept like the administration to retain like Anglo Corp for an amount of 499,520 plus HSE, and that amount be for this it's a special projects engineering for the next year. I recommend, I move, seconded by Emile O'Brien. Yes. As for the tenders, I thought like, well, 25% difference like between the lowest and the highest bidder. I thought we had to go with the I know you explained, but essentially, like if we share with the model or the process during the request, well, we cannot arbitrarily say, well, we choose this one here. So during the process, we share like how they would be assessed, what would be the criteria, and at time we had some kind of point system for them. By following this model, well, we came with this model like. Essentially, like the bidders, the tenders knew how they would be assessed, and the point system we had, well, it came out as the best tender. So it was done internally. So that's something we could defend. Like if a bidder was lower, like for the bidders, they all receive the same instruction, including how they are evaluating. It's quite a significant amount, like you know, like $499,000. So that's Councillor Jeunesse. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I would just like to make a comment. Like, so the last time, like we did construction on Main Street, it went well because we put some requirement. So I'm hoping we're looking at this again. I know it's not part of our core, but during the week of the festival, the high peak season, it's to see what type of flexibility we could have. I think we did like a good process the last time and it helped. And that's something we could do again. And maybe we learned something about the last time. So it's always important, like so we can go through, even if it's not downtown, so people can go from one side of the town to the other. So they don't have to take the highway to avoid like the community altogether. So if Kate may add something, see if the Bow Bridge with the extension, like it would help also like to regulate the traffic during this period. So yeah. So the construction season, well, it's in the summer, unfortunately, so it has an impact on everyone. I think it's something we put in place like the last time because it worked well on Main Street. I think we should keep it in mind, even if it's not downtown Main, but it's still a main artery. Just to continue, one of our criteria we included in our request was to assess and evaluate how we could have the least possible impact on traffic. What for the detours, how we could evaluate the project, so we can keep maybe one lane or two lanes open on Main Street. So we all asked the consultant to evaluate this. It's one of the criteria we evaluated with the three bidders. Perfect. Councillor Renard-Comrie. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. A question. If Englobe didn't submit a tender, we only had like the two others. Would you recommend the two others? Or of course, like we want to start the work, but I do not want to speculate, but if they did not consult it, if Englobe did not bid, they would appear at the highest amount, and we would still make the recommendation to go with the point system that was given. In this case, well, it was Englobe like bid like, and the points.
C'est 8,000, c'est pas 81 puis 30, c'est 8,030.
C'est 8,030, like, so this is like the points? The number,
je le comprends.
Is it how?
Deux évaluations.
No, these are not two separate evaluations. 89.98 over 100, close to 90, 90%. So it means that the other we are not recommending was still good. It just was not as good in terms of numbers or score. Is it exactly what you said or you meant? Yeah, his score is lower. So it means like the other one we're not recommending is still good, right? According to the point system. And you said Englobe, I would say all the bidders like would have recommended if they. Yeah, they're good businesses. Listen, I can tell you maybe the 5 other companies that which have assessed, but the 3 others like would be at 2. We assess like the 3 based on their competencies and specific criteria, like the model, the grid we had, like to evaluate it like equitably. So the score was higher for Englobe. If you're comfortable with this, I'm comfortable. I just wanted to, as Reagan, trust but verify. That's my role. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Come to the company. So, on this note, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Against nay? Carry. Thank you.
Numéro 15.5.
15.5
Moins compliqué.
was the
Soirée des sorcières.
like the witch hunt special request, special permission, Mr. Clay. Less complicated, a little bit more scary. So it's one of the major events of the fall. And in the past, like it was explained today, evening like this, they were organized, but this year, like we're trying to bring this back. And a comment we received like over the last few years, it seemed like the evening was cut short, and they want to bring some kind of after party, like from 10 p.m. until 1 a.m. So they need like a special permission to hold this event at Tate House here on Main Street. Like a special permission to go above those hours that are imposed by our bylaw. You have the letter, and there is also the motion that is part of your package. Deputy Mayor, if you would like to read, and I will have a comment after. So, witch crawl, special permission, where crawl the organizer of the witch crawl wish to hold an event at Tate House from 10 p.m. on September 26 to 1 a.m. on September 27. It resolved that the municipal council grant special permission to extend the curfew until 1 a.m. on the night of September 26 to September 27 for the purpose of holding this event. I shall move by Deputy Mayor Sylvie Collet, seconded by Conseiller Joël Després. Comment. I have a comment. I spoke with someone. The event is so popular. And I think like within 12 hours, they sold like close to 300 tickets. Because I noticed like all put like 80% sold, but it's sold out. Like there are two different. I encourage you strongly like to grant this special permission for this evening that is very popular in our municipality. Often we do things like other part of the municipality. This year it's just across the street. They're supposed to have tents, and they encourage like men or women witches. Just my grain of salt. Thank you. On this note, all in favor, signify saying aye. Against nay. Carried. Thank you. Because no to 300 which it's not good changes. We don't want to have them against us. Next, we did not have any appointments complete, and next meeting will be on October 6th. Councillor Germain, would you like to move the adjournment? I move the adjournment of the meeting. Thank you very much, and have a good rest of the evening.